Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Jarun on the Impossible Dream. It is a transfer special today as we move from Season 4 into Season 5. We are back-to-back champions of the league after last day. If you haven't seen last episode, go and watch that. It was absolutely brilliant. And, well, spoiler alert, we won the league, I suppose. Not much point now. But 7 million to spend we've got today. We can double our wages as well. It is huge. It's going to be a very big, interesting window. So let's get things underway.
Važno samo jedno, nogomet I ništa više. Jarune.
Now, a little bit to catch us up on before we move forward, and that is with the season just gone. Rovis set a league record for average match rating, just a 0.01 ahead of Pajic from last season, so that's good. Now, this team have been promoted. Now, we had just got them as an affiliate team to loan the clubs out to. Now, you may remember they were the main team we were battling with to get promoted, so they have come up as champions. I am worried that what's going to happen now is that that affiliation is going to be cut because it would be a really good place. I actually didn't want them to get promoted. So it's a bit of a shame in that sense, but to send some of our younger players down there to play in the second tier would have been brilliant, but unfortunately they have been promoted. Let's have a look at what else we've got here. Rovis has claimed the Player of the Year for the league, so again, well done to him. He's keeping Bracalo out of the side right now, and I thought he was going to be really good for us. Tolik was second in goal of the season. Of course, a reminder to vote for our goal of the season. Priscilla was goalkeeper of the year. I'm still not completely convinced if we keep him or not. That's one of the big questions I've got to ask myself this episode is what do we do with goalkeeper? But yeah, it's an argument to say he should be there. Look at this for Tima. This is going to cost us a fortune. Priscilla was in goal. It was our defence, was the league defence. And then Tolik in midfield as well. I was manager of the year, so hooray for me. And Champions League award winners. Hang on, why is this popping up here? Tommy G, third. That is amazing. Well done to Tommy G. There's some big recognition. He'll probably be off this window, to be honest, but that kind of hurt his transfer value. So, yeah, well done, Tommy G. Huge. All right, we've got our first signing. Nothing to get excited about. It's a backup goalkeeper, but Tin Sakanji is how we're going to say his name, even if it's not quite his name. 60 grand. We triggered a release fee. He was from Dubrava, which is in the second tier. He's our backup goalkeeper. Now, he's 25. Now, what I'm doing is I'm signing him instead of Priscilla. The reason being the difference between the two of them. You can see he's quite solid. We got him for 60 grand and 750 pounds a week. Priscilla was going to be upwards of £1 million and then obviously more in wages as well. So it makes sense, given that it is just a backup. Nivasevic will be the first choice. Sakanji will be the second choice. And yeah, when we find the guy that we want to be the number one longer term, then we can sign him. And we've basically signed out the two goalkeepers we have now for 16 and 60 grand. So what's that? 75 grand basically all in for two goalkeepers. That's not bad to hold us over. And the other thing that's happened is youth facilities have now been upgraded. So there they are there. We'll continue to invest in things till everything is as good as it can get. But yeah, the club is definitely moving forward off the pitch. And hopefully we'll be able to keep it moving forward on the pitch now as well. All right, so quick catch up on Europe to see how things are going. We're ticking over from one season to the next. So we're up the league is up 2 places to 20th. So that is obviously good. We have rised up 141 places to 258th. It's not going to help us a great deal in terms of league of seedings, I should say, for qualifiers and whatnot. But, it's better than nothing. We'll continue to grow that. The Brentford are in the Champions League. So that's... They'll be quite pleased with that, I would imagine. And homegrown players, it looks as though we are going to have enough homegrown players in the squad this season to register a full squad. So that can only be a good thing. Yeah, it's just really disappointing. Zevic would have qualified. Priscilla does as well. Maybe we do want to sign Priscilla in that case. But anyway, that's sort of your brief European update. Well, we've got our first qualifying round for the Champions League, and I think it's fair to say that could be easier, couldn't it? So Celtic. Now, I don't know if I have the Celtic League, or the Scottish League, I should say, loaded up. I don't know that I do, which might make it a little bit easier, but that is going to be a very big test early on in the season when we're probably going to be short of match sharpness. So, yeah, fingers crossed for that one. Hello, Socceroos. It's Aussie. The contract has been signed. Operation Next Generation has begun. Alright, so we have our first major signing. It is Noah Skoko, son of the great Josip Skoko Socceroo. Now, Noah, you may remember, scored against us for Hajduk Split. That's right, we've nicked a player from Hajduk Split. £1 million. We've paid for him £900 a week as a regular starter. I think this is going to mean the end of somebody. I don't know who. We've got too many midfielders right now. But let's have a quick look at him. Now, he is a second nationality of Australian. Right now he sees himself as Croatian. We are definitely going to be trying to brainwash him over to the Socceroos. But I think he's very, very good. Physically, he's quite well-rounded. He's 21, so there's room for him to grow. Good technical player, good passing, good finishing. As someone, I think maybe the next, or the coming through, because Tolik isn't going to last forever. So I think my plan is for Skoko to come through and sort of replace him in that sort of a role. If we go and have a look at his career to date, he's basically played in Croatia, a little bit in North Wollongong, which is, I'm assuming, State League in Victoria. If anybody knows that for sure, let me know. But yeah, he's been a bit of a bit-part player for them, but one of those 2 goals was against us last year. So yeah, maybe, is he worth £1 million? Well, if he becomes a Socceroo, he definitely is. Thank you everybody for coming out. This is a really big announcement for the club. We are absolutely delighted to announce that we have signed a 4-year deal to continue our exclusive rights to serve Phillips burgers. Yeah, it's a big deal. Huge deal. So a bit of good news, and that is that Elias Phillott has signed a 4-year extension with us. I think he's pretty key to what we do right now. I think he's a bit of a favourite of everybody's as well. And I've had a look around. There's not many strikers that well-rounded that are willing to come to us now anyway. And that should hopefully see off any interest that there is in him as well. Now, another contract extension that's been signed, and that is Rovis. He's here for another 3 years. He's so good. I don't understand. I didn't think he was going to be that good when we signed him. There is no way we can let him leave. So, yeah, he's here for another 3 years as well, unless we, of course, sell him beforehand. Now, we are at July 1st, which means, obviously, contracts have expired, loans have ended, that kind of thing. Now, we have sent 2 players out on loan for next season. Brigic is going to go and be an important player at the Bordeaux team that's just been promoted, and our young right back is going to go out and be an important player in the second tier. So hopefully those guys will both benefit from that. Now we have released some players as well. The main one of those is Rocco Purser. He was, of course, the guy we plucked out of Maltese football. He's just been ungrateful. He can go back to Maltese football for all I care. The other one is the young goalkeeper we signed way back from Dinamo. He's been released as well. So yeah, a few outs, but I'm really trying to shop a lot of players around right now and strengthen us. Hopefully, there's going to be, well, there will be a lot of deals between now and I think Celtic game is first up. All right, we have a signing, and it is the one we're all waiting for. It is Marko Zebic on loan, this time from Marseille. We're paying 8.5 for 8,500 of his wages every week, and then 85 grand a month in a fee. The big difference this time is that we have an option to buy. Where is that option? There it is there for 2.3 million. We might as well just trigger it. It'll save us money in the long term. So he's back, and yeah, Zepic he's never going to leave, is he? He's just got to accept he's never going to leave. But actually, what's in a serious note, what makes this so much more useful is that he's a club-trained player for us this year in Europe. So on that front, it was a bit of a no-brainer to bring him back in as well. So yeah, that's a big piece of the defensive puzzle solved. So another player in, it's another defender, it is Ivan Masic. Now we have signed him for 225 grand from Pescara. He is a Slovak international, he is 26, he's on just under 6 grand a week. We signed him as a regular starter. He's more of sort of a squad player, I think, than a regular starter. Let's have a look at him, and this is him here. Now the main reason that we signed him, there's a lot of defenders obviously that we could sign. I feel like we needed 1 or 2 extras, is that he had that release fee of 225 grand, and you can see instantly doubled his transfer value. So my plan for him is we get this season out of him, we sort of reassess where we're at with him next season, and it might be that we look to sell him on, or it might be that he plays well and we keep him. So yeah, we'll see exactly what we get, but he's a wide centre-back, sort of his most natural position. He can pass the ball a little bit. He's just very, very solid and well-rounded, so he won't let us down in the league, and if we need him in Europe, then he'll probably do a decent job for us. Now his career to date, we can see he started off, obviously, in his native Slovakia. He's been around a little bit, but he spent a number of seasons in Italy playing, yes, lower leagues there. But, you know, he's a Slovak international. He should be able to make a step up. And as I've said before, if it doesn't work out, we should be able to double our money on him this time next year. Okay, we have 2 departures, and this might be controversial. Nunes is the first to have left, £375,000. He's gone back, or off to Portugal anyway. Wasn't completely sure what to do with him. Now, I felt like in Europe, he wasn't quite getting the job done for us. Now, there's no denying, very good from a set piece. He did score some good goals as well. Contract was up the end of the year, 29 to 30 at the end of the season. Were we going to renew a player that didn't quite look like he was good enough in Europe? Didn't really make much sense to do. So that's why we've got rid of him. The other player that is left is Rakic. He's gone for £215,000. Now, Rakic, I just feel like he never really settled, did he? Never really got out of him what I thought we would. And yeah, so we've given up on him as well. And he has left. Another one, contract up the end of the year. Cash in now rather than losing for nothing at the end of the season. Give somebody else a chance to get a season's worth of experience. So that is that. 2 players left. We did have a Super Cup, the Charity Shield equivalent in Croatia. That was against Rijeka, so let's go see how that went. We took the lead when Matanovic won possession and played in Fillet. So, not a terrible performance this one. We were by far the better side. Didn't quite keep possession how I would have liked. They were down to 10 men just after half-time as well. You can see we played what I thought was our strongest team, and then we brought some players off the bench as well. Kakavenga and Skoko playing some time in midfield. Yeah, it was just a good performance, to be honest. And yeah, fairly happy with how we did early season. We'll take a win, won't we, and a trophy as well, of course. Alright, we are at game day of our first game of the season against Hajduk Split. Now, this is something I haven't seen before, but really, really useful. I wish we had this previous editions, actually. So, the TV deal has gone up a little bit, 2%, but it's a 5-year deal, which is fine, I suppose. But it's just good to know that that this is being sort of explained to you as you go. So that's good news. The other thing is we do have a signing. Now, this is more one for the future than for now, but John Ngwanyi, he is a 19-year-old South African defender. We've signed him for 70 grand from Mamelodi Sundowns, £350 a week as a breakthrough prospect. We'll have a quick look at what we've got here. Now, the glaring obvious thing that needs to change is the unambitious personality, but outside of that, he's 19. Did I say he was 18? He's 19. Physically, he's quite decent. He's got some good mental attributes as well. And technically, it's not too bad. Tackling is good. Passing, marking, and heading are all 9. So if they were sort of one level up at 10, he would look a little bit better than he is, obviously, just with the double digits. But he's never played a game of professional football before, but will he play this year? He'll probably get a game with us, but we can see there lots and lots of potential. So hopefully we can really train him on, and we get a little bit of a star there for the sake of 70 grand. So that is that. Let's have a look at the team we have to start the season. And we'll start with goalkeeper. Now, of course, a reminder, the window is still open, and we do have some deals that will hopefully be going through. We'll see them next episode. So, Nestevic will be the #1 goalkeeper for us this season. He'll be backed up by one of the new boys, Sakanji, and I think he's going to do fine as a backup, to be honest. Then we've still got Sabarik as a backup. His contract is up at the end of this year, and I don't think we'll be keeping him. And then Zivkovic is still around. I might look to loan him out again. We'll see. I mean, we just need to get rid of him at this point. Again, his contract's up at the end of the season. If we go and have a look at our centre-backs, I've sort of lumped everybody into the one here. Now, our first choice, certainly first choice, 2 of the first choice 3 is Damjanic. I thought he did really well when he came in last year. Zebic will be one of the main 3. Then it's open for someone to win the role. Bikanic is still around with us. We've got one of the new boys, Masic, who will be important for us at times this season. Dashka, I'm thinking as a centre-back might be okay. Now, we've promised him if we get a fee of, we'll go and sell him for less than that. But if we get 6.75 million, we would sell him. And like I say, absolutely, I'd drive him to the airport myself for that much. So he may or may not be around for the entire season. We'll see what happens on that front. We still got Hartman. I'm willing to sell him. But a lot of that is going to come down to we probably need one more before we do sell him, because he's in the top 6 here. If Dashka leaves, then we just start to look a little bit thin maybe at centre-back. We've got the new boy, Ngwanye. I think that's how I'm going to pronounce that. We'll see how we go here. Then we've got Kazina, who I'm actively trying to get rid of. He's out of contract at the end of the year as well. And then we've got a youngster here, Mezak. He's 16, so I'm not sure if he's able to play, but there is a lot of potential there. So we'll train him in the first team, and if he is able to play, then not sure we will, but he's around anyway. Defensive positioning is a bit of a disaster for him, isn't it? So left back, we've got 2 very, very good options. Rovers, who is just just amount of words for him. He's just absolutely brilliant. Bricalo, setback with a broken leg last year. Hopefully that won't happen to him this year and we can get a full season out of him. Redjakovic is still here. You can see we've accepted a bid, although it's a loan bid with an option to buy, but there's no need to keep him around. We could probably have some youngsters or somebody else that could cover there if we get into that position. Over to the right-hand side, there are two right now, Tinavoy and Dekic. Now, I can tell you, I've got big hopes that we will have another right back, a very good right back potentially in before too much longer. If we go to defensive midfielder, Bosanjak was brilliant when he came in last year, so he will be the number one man in this position. Darskriff is still around. He will play. We've got Davanjak, and a reminder that we've got a couple of others that could play here as well, that Brigic is out on loan this season, playing in the top flight at whatever that team is, Burlo. So he's hopefully he should be getting a full season in there and he'll come back to us a better player. Further forward now, we've got sort of four main guys. Kakavenga, who is the record signing. I think he's still the record signing. Tolik, I'm a little bit concerned about Tolik in Europe. He's still brilliant in the league, but a little bit concerned about him in Europe. His contract is up at the end of this season. We'll have to have a think about what we do with him. I mean, 31 is by no means retirement age, is it? So we'll see. Purser, who was, again, really good when he played for us last season. One of the new boys, Noah Skoko. Really, really excited to see what he can do for us this season. Then we've got, Dashka may or may not play there. Islamovic, I'm thinking I'll try and get him out on loan this year so he can play. We've still got Tregranic. I was trying to sell him actually, but he got injured, so it's difficult to sell an injured player. He's just not good enough, is he? I thought about the idea of maybe retraining him as a deep-lying forward because he's got good vision and passing, good finishing. So I might revisit that depending how we're looking up front, and we'll get to that in just a second. Then we've got a couple of others here. We've got a youngster that we may or may not try and get out on loan because I do think there's a decent player in there somewhere. We just need him to be playing. And then another of the youngsters that's up in the first team squad this season, Damian Ormarkic. Ormarkic even. He's, again, got a little bit to like about him, so we're going to train him up and try and give him some first team football. I think he is able to play in the league. He's a good enough prospect at 16 to be able to play, so that's good. Then if we go up front, Philip is obviously our Lord and Saviour, absolutely brilliant. Tommy G, I'm trying to sell Tommy G. You can see surplus to requirements. His contract's up at the end of this season. It's not anything against his performances so far, but he is just not quite good enough to where we need him to be moving forward. So rather than losing for nothing, we're trying to get something for him. We've got Matanovic, who I think is going to be a big player for us this season. We've got Pranjic, who is just Mr. Reliable for us. When we need a goal, he seems to pop up with one. Tolik could play up front, though whenever we've done it, he's never really come off for us. And then we've got two youngsters that are up mainly for mentoring purposes. Kolik, who is temperamental, which is ironic with a name like Kolik, isn't it? And Kernich, who is fickle, and again, a little bit of potential there for him as well. So that's what we've got. We've still got, I can tell you, we've got deals that are coming through. I would like to get another striker in. I'm looking. Strikers' wages are expensive, as it turns out, and we're really struggling to find somebody to come in and that we can afford, basically. But yeah, that is where we're at. We will be back next episode. It's a very, very hectic start to the year. Hajduk split Celtic. Then we've got Dinamo Zagreb away, and then the second leg against Celtic. So that might well be what we need to do. We'll see how the first leg goes against Celtic, but at Celtic Park, I suspect, that might be a bit of a tough one, and we're trying to cling in to stay in the Champions League. But anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you to get the season underway next time. Take care.